Oh, I'm tired.
Aren't we all tired?
Yeah. Anyone who's not a child anymore, like I don't know, like once you hit like what is it, like age 20, 23, 25, you just become eternally tired, and you never go back.
I'm just tired because I just woke up.
Oh well, that's what happens when you sleep all day.
I didn't have night shift,
You
Dylan.
literally sent me a message at almost 8 o'clock in the morning and said, "Hey, I'm gonna go to sleep now so that we can record the podcast tonight." And I said, "All right," and you didn't get back to me and wake up until like almost midnight.
I was a really tiring day, Dylan.
I fucking guess, dude. Jesus.
Very enthusiastic nap time.
Christ. Oh. Alright. Well, welcome to Nonstop Debate, everybody. A couple of tired boys tonight.
Yep.
But,
Sorry about last week. I was really tired last week.
yeah, well, you should be a little more awake now since you just fucking woke up.
I am awake. I'm just still tired.
Christ. Alright, well, you saw in the title already, I'm sure, but today we're talking about the little horny boy.
God, I want to fucking kick him in the head.
Teruteru Hanamura, baby, alright.
Judging by his height, that wouldn't be such a difficult task. I just want to fucking. I hate his archetype so much.
I don't mind him. He's the kind of character that makes you groan and shake your head and just like, shut up. But it's like, it's a kind of comedic element that I think is like fine to have.
No, bad done. He's afflicted with the horny. He must go to jail.
He is afflicted with the horny and he does go to jail almost immediately. He dies pretty fucking early. But you know. Yeah, I don't know.
Good.
I honestly didn't mind him. Like I said, he's grown worthy. He's nothing but like porn. He's nothing but like dad jokes porn edition. But he's fine. Honestly, I didn't mind him. I think it's actually kind of good that he died as early as he did because I feel like if he stuck around longer, it wouldn't have been as like. It probably would have been a lot more annoying, and he'd be a lot less liked. I feel.
I still don't like him.
Well, let's talk about his design for a second. And I actually really wanted to touch on his design more than most characters because, like,
Holy shit, his beta design is so much better.
his beta design is such a Chad, dude. Sex incarnate. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of get maybe why they changed it, but I'm still just like, why? You know?
If Terror had this beta design and acted technically inside, I'm like, forget fucking the girls. Why don't you just fuck me?
Right. I feel like part of the reason that they changed it is because, like, with Miyu in V3, if he was hot and a pervert, he probably would have gotten away with it a lot more. Because Miyu just kind of makes those comments in V3, but it's all played for laughs, and everyone's like, oh, Miyu, you crazy. And then, like, Teruteru, as I said, is fucking groan-worthy. And I feel like his appearance is a big part of that, you know?
Well, I think the contrast is that Miyu just stops like, hey, how about why don't you just want to fuck me or make fun of their like virginity or stuff like that, and that's where it stops. Terror just goes the extra step and just continues on the path of being horny.
Yeah. Well, I suppose Miyu also, like, has that bit of her character where, like, if she's challenged even a little bit in the things that she's saying, she backs down.
Right?
So, yeah. I don't know.
Terror just denies all probability.
He gets fucking smacked over the head. I love the moments where he gets, like, shut down, but he still continues the horny regardless. Like in the Despair arc of Danganronpa 3 in the anime, he gets, like, fucking... As soon as he shows up at the beginning of the arc, he gets horny, and, like, the other classmates, someone, I don't remember who, they, like, It's when they're like rounding everyone in the class up basically, and when they catch Teruteru, they like catch him in a snare trap and like tie him up, and he just like, even though he's tied up and hanging by his hands and feet, he starts making comments about bondage, and it just makes everyone even more upset.
I think that would be Sonya if you found him.
Yeah, maybe. God. But yeah, no. Honestly, I think both designs are fine. They went with the less appealing design, but it's still very like recognizable.
Right.
And they kept the hair, at least. That's something.
At least he has some bitchin' ass like $30 haircut hair.
Yeah. And I love the sprites of his where he's like running a comb through it and taking care of his hair.
Right.
He's pretty good on the design department, either or. I wish they would have stuck with the beta design just because of what a chat it is, but
Yeah.
I understand going the like less appealing route.
Right.
Just makes him it makes him like Mineta in My
God.
Hero, where he's just like you can't be okay with him being a perv because he's just a little creep, you know?
Right.
And it's like, all right, I get it. That's what you're going for here. You don't want us to like humor the pervert
If
attitude.
Mineta doesn't turn into a villain by the end of the series, I'm gonna fucking cry.
I highly doubt he's gonna be a villain. He's most likely just going to stay comedic relief side character.
Right.
So, but yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I just wanted to talk about his beta design versus his final design. Because that beta design, boy, whoo.
I would forgive everything and all things.
Yeah, exactly.
No. If I would forgive everything Teruteru is if he had a Scottish accent and said, "Where's the lamb sauce?" at least once. Where's the lamb sauce?
If they just fucking made him Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah.
Jeez. That's not
they
Scottish,
gave-
though.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay, he's Scottish.
Is he?
Yeah, he's Scottish, yeah.
Huh.
The
He
night
must
with
not be
Mysterio-
that strong an accent, because I always
No,
thought he was
he-
English or
He was
British.
He was born in Scotland, trained in England, and moved to America.
Oh, okay, so that explains it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know.
Yeah.
Teruteru is our first blackened of Danganronpa 2.
Bone on the meat. Meat on the bone.
Bone on the meat. Ultimate Chef.
On
Honestly,
the meat bone.
God, I usually give bonus points to the Blackened who use their talent in some way in the murder. I did, as much as I harp on Leon, I did appreciate how they used a lot of his like elements of his ultimate talent in his murder.
I wonder who could have made this fucking shot. Maybe it could have been the baseball star?
Well, yeah, that fucking like thing with the trash compactor is like, or not the trash compactor, the furnace. That's like a dead giveaway. That's Leon, because he's like the only person who could have made that kind of shot. If you don't already know about the name on the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually enjoyed the bit that they used for Teruteru. He's in the kitchen the whole time, and then he made his way down and hid the murder weapon in the meat. I don't know. It worked for me. It wasn't as like, it wasn't as much as Leon's, but I still enjoyed that they used like elements of his talent, because not a whole lot, surprisingly, of Blackens actually like use much of their talent in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Mikon kind of does, because she's the nurse on site taking care of them, but that's not quite what I'm going for here.
Yeah.
So.
Considering the whole fucking shenanigan with Case 3 to begin with, oh lord.
Yeah.
Only person who actually like super hardcore pulled it off was Nagito.
Yeah. Yeah, he best used his talent in a murder.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that later.
You mean his suicide?
It's suicide. God. Teruteru gets executed. Honestly, his execution, I don't mind it.
I don't mind it. I like it a little bit.
Are we still comparing to Leon's execution as the bar, or are we starting fresh on that bar with Teruteru?
No, I would still say Leon is like the universal bar for every execution with these series.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just that good. Leon's execution is just that good.
It's not super. It's like not amazing, but it's solid. It's a solid first like legitimate execution.
It's deep fried in a volcano.
Yeah. I don't mind it. It's definitely a little more cartoony than some of the others.
Well, the second game has pretty much all goofy ones. They're pretty much all goofy.
Yeah. I don't think any of them really hit that like brutal aspect that Leon's had.
Nah, maybe Pecco's, but
Pecco's, yeah, maybe.
She got stabbed a bunch, but there's also more of a Fuyuhiko thing.
Yeah.
God, Pecco.
Her execution is just more Fuyuhiko development.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with.
Right.
Yeah.
This is all the goofy executions. Then we go back to the brutal ones in V3. Like, holy shit, the V3 ones are astronomically brutal.
Yeah. Very much so, actually. Christ. Yeah, getting deep fried in a volcano, because he gets picked up by the helicopter and battered first, and then he gets dipped in the volcano and deep fried. Like, it's funny, but I don't know. It doesn't give me that like cringe in my seat that watching someone get pelted to death by baseballs does.
Yeah.
Because even that, like, visually, even Leon's looks a little goofy and cartoony, especially when it cuts to Monokuma just like batting 1,000.
Yeah.
But it's still just like, that's a more realistic execution that not only fit his talent perfectly, but was brutal, and like your imagination could easily just put you in that spot, and you could just like imagine what that would feel like, you know.
I cannot imagine falling into a volcano.
Yeah, that's not something that happens to people. That's not something that your brain can.
Well, no, there's a video on the internet where there's someone who falls into a volcano. Like a pit of lava. They fall into the lava and they're just gone.
Yeah. Well, because they get fucking incinerated.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of you getting dipped in and you're fine. You're just under the surface like it's hot water. You're literally like burning up on the surface.
No, they go in. They fall all the way in. Yeah. And they're just gone.
Yeah. No
traces remain.
Yeah, you basically get incinerated.
Yeah.
So.
Instantaneously.
Yeah. It's I don't know, it doesn't give me that like punch to my gut that Leon's does, and that's kind of the only thing I don't like about it. I still think it's fine.
Right.
It's brutal enough. It's a fine enough execution to start the second game off with.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Personality-wise,
pervert.
We already kind of covered that. He's just he's just a goofball. He's dad jokes sex edition. He's just constantly throwing out one-liners related to fucking how horny he is.
The horny.
I think the only real character defining moment he gets is before he gets executed, when you find out about his mom in the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's all good. That's all great stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sad we didn't get to see a little more of it. But considering that he's one of the first people gone, it's not that big a deal either.
And unlike Leon, who did this because he was a fucking dumbass, Nagito actually literally egged him on.
Yeah. Nagito kind of forced him into this decision.
Yeah.
Which is another shade to Teruteru that I actually really like.
Right.
I feel like...
He's still a good person.
Yeah, I feel like this was the beginning of V3 and how they did the whole style of, like, these aren't, like, people who would murder. These are people who are being forced into murder.
Right.
Because I feel like...
Except Nagito. Nagito was straight up literally would kill someone.
Nagito knew what he was fucking doing.
Yeah.
Because even, like, Leon very clearly was not, like, forced into that. He was given the opportunity, and he said, no, you know what? Fuck this bitch. And he actually went the extra mile to kill her.
It is.
Yeah. Mondo had, like, what? Like, a temporary insanity, basically?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking who was after that? Celeste. We all know you meet Celeste when you play Danganronpa. You know she's gonna kill someone eventually.
Yeah.
That's not even a matter of like opinion. It's just you meet her and you're like, there's no way you're not gonna kill someone at some point.
Sakura gets theme from Berserk plays.
Yeah. God, who was after Celeste?
It was
Sakura killed herself. That's right.
Yeah.
But she did that. That wasn't even like technically a murder. That was a suicide, and she did that to help everybody.
Right.
She did like ultimate sacrifice type stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, gets theme from Berserk plays in the background.
Yeah. And then the rest of it is what? Junko and Mukuro.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like Mondo definitely, I don't think, would have committed murder, but this, I wouldn't really count him in this discussion because, like I said, he's in that, like, temporary insanity moment where he just completely blacks out and just, like, murders Chihiro.
Right.
I feel like Teruteru is really the first, like, shade of character that they were going for in, like, all of V3, where he's not a bad person, and he's definitely not someone who would have murdered anybody, but he was backed into that corner, and he had no other option, really.
This does not apply to the second murderer game.
Yeah.
This game, Peko straight up fucking, like...
No, yeah, Peko straight up fucking assassinated someone.
Yeah.
So... But yeah, that's why I'm saying this is like the beginning of Kodaka and the writing team really like doing that with their characters. And honestly, I prefer that. Having someone unhinged and like having the ability to murder mixed in there is also nice. But I appreciate the like realistic approach to the people that are just
like Gonta.
Yeah, like Gonta is a great example. Like they're just great. They're good people that would never hurt anybody, but they're like forced into a position where they have no other choice, and it just makes it even more like it makes it more emotional, you know.
Yeah. So it was basically Kaede, Kurumi, Gonta, who's chapter 4? Well, no, I skipped chapter 3. Kaito.
Chapter 3 is
Korokiro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Kyo, right? He's got no problem murdering people. Well, see, that's another reason that fucking Chapter 3 and V3 bothers me, is because if they would have gone the route that I had originally said back in the meta writing episode, if they would have done, like, Tenko killed Angie, and then Kyo killed Tenko, like,
yeah,
you're basically solving two separate murders that both happened at the same time, and that doesn't go against either of the rules, and I think that would have just been amazing for Himiko's character development, and it also would have shown a nice shade to Tenko, where she literally only did it because she was worried for Himiko's safety. She thought Angie was going off the rails, you know, like, that would have made so much sense to me. And it would have made so much sense to the characters. And the fact that they just kind of, like, lazied the last bit.
Funny incest man killed both of them.
Yeah, Kyo killed both. It's like, okay, well, hold on. Especially after you made me do that fucking scrum debate that wasted, like, 20 minutes after we had already established Kyo was one of the murderers. Like, there was no need, you know? You might as well have just had, like, gone the Tenko route. Kyo would be fucked no matter what, because the other murderer is dead. So, like, or you could have kept him alive. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting routes they could have gone there, and I don't really know why they didn't. So, but yeah.
Anyway, back to Teruteru.
Back to Teruteru. My original point is that I appreciate the character like this, that, you know, like I said, they're not bad people. They're just forced into making these horrible decisions.
Right. And,
you know, then you immediately get his character development bit off of his mom in the restaurant and the flashbacks, and it's a
Mikon count at that point though.
No, Mikon was snapped.
Yeah,
she was despaired. She knew what she was doing too.
Yeah.
But no, it's a bit of a dump of information with Teruteru, but it's fine development that kind of like feeds into his motive.
It's not as bad as a dump as Mondo and Chihiro's dump at the end of Chapter 2.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff to go through. Chapter 2 was really long.
Yeah, Monokuma just fucking monologuing.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it. I think Teruteru as a character is one of the better handled in this
Mhm.
game. He kind of benefits like Imposter in the sense where he wasn't around too long, so they had like he didn't get a lot of
Mhm.
development, but considering he wasn't around for very long, that's not really that big a deal.
Right.
And what he did get was pretty decent. So, I don't really have a problem with him.
It could be a lot worse. Could have been like I said, Mondo and Chihiro. Um,
Yeah, where it dragged on for
I
just a little too long.
I think I think Mikon being despaired at the end gave a little bit too much of a way of what's going on, because
Yeah.
that's when I figured out the twist right then and there at the end of Chapter 3. I was like, oh, so this is all just people who used to work for Junko, and they're all just being like, okay, rehabilitated. That's literally what I thought. And then they start talking about the remnants of despair. I'm like, okay, these guys are clearly the remnants of despair, and the twist is given away.
Yeah, well, that's also if you're like paying a lot of attention to, though. I feel like most people wouldn't catch on quite that early.
Well, Joey did it, so
Yeah.
we have proof. So Joey did it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Teruteru is fine though.
Right?
For from like start to finish for just his
Mhm.
character alone, I think he's fine. I'd say he's better handled than Imposter because Imposter kind of suffers from the same thing where I shouldn't say suffers. He benefits from the same
He's
idea
better
that
handled
he's
than Peko.
yeah, he's not around as long, so you can kind of play around with him. And making him the mystery character is fun. The problem is that he doesn't stay relevant past his death.
Right.
Teruteru doesn't either, but he doesn't need to because he's not the mystery character. He just needs a little bit of development before he's gone, and he gets a bit, which is pretty solid. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a problem with it.
But yeah, even though the case one was literally the Komaeda shows his true colors power hour.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of Nagito going on in this chapter also, especially during the trial.
Right.
So yeah. I don't know. Actually, that might be why Teruteru had a bit of a dump of character development at the end of the trial, is because Nagito also took up most of the chapter time.
Right.
It was very
That's
focused
okay.
on Nagito to kind of, which
put-
also kind of distracts you from Teruteru until you kind of like
Yeah.
catch the finer details that point him out.
Yeah. But, don't worry, we put Nagito in the closet in chapter 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Opens up Nagito. Feed me, Hajime! Feed me!
On a side note, that's another thing that I kind of enjoyed about Danganronpa 2 was all the like reasons Nagito was so like uninvolved until later in the game when he became more active was because like like
They
chapter
literally
2
prevented him.
chapter 1 he was basically hiding, and then chapter 2 he was like
Literally tied up in a
cat's out of the bag, but everyone was like afraid that he was dangerous, so they
fuck
tied
this.
him up. Yeah, chapter
What
3
the people
he
should
was
have done to
fucking,
Jill is what they should have done to fucking Coco in the first game.
yeah. But yeah, he's tied up in chapter 2. In chapter 3, he's got the despair disease, and then you move into chapter 4, and he's finally able to like be active because he doesn't really have anything like tying him down anymore, so to speak.
Quick, let's play Zero Escape, guys!
Yeah. It's not like Kokichi, who's just kind of like inactive until chapter 4 for like no real reason.
Yeah.
So that's something I actually do think Nagito has over Kokichi in terms of like the story, is that he has legitimate like reasons why he's just constantly inactive at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even say inactive. He's plenty active. He's just subdued.
Yeah. That's it, you had your fun. Back into the closet with you. I like that in chapter 4 though too. They're like, why is he out here? Why is he here?
Right. God. Alright, well, I think it's Ego Theater time.
Yep, and I don't have a topic, so I'm gonna go first thing that comes to my head.
Okay, well, we'll see you guys in a minute.
And now it's time for Ego Theater.
Okay, we're gonna talk about our favorite Hell's Kitchen moments.
Hell's
I don't know if
Kitchen.
you
Huh?
haven't. No, just Gordon Ramsay in general. Favorite moments from Gordon Ramsay. I don't know how much of Gordon Ramsay's TV shows have you watched, Dylan.
I don't watch a lot.
Okay, so
I think the most I watched was that night that you and I were up late, and you were just like streaming YouTube over Discord, and you were just playing Gordon Ramsay clips of him like going to like ma and pa restaurants and like either being nice or telling them what to improve on and shit.
yeah,
I think that's the most I've seen, which I actually
Yeah.
really appreciate that kind of stuff because I'm so used to like growing up with the
Hell's
idea
Kitchen,
that he's like a big meanie, but you know, seeing him do the wholesome shit with the ma and pa stores, and like my mom has her own business, so I kind of
Yeah.
resonate with that, you know.
yeah. What was that? It's not Hell's Kitchen. It's Kitchen Nightmares is what it's called. Where he goes into different restaurants like kitchen that are like all like they're don't know why they're like struggling and running down. So Gordon Ramsay's going down there to help them out. And the only reason why he stopped doing that is because 60% of them just said, "Nah, fuck Gordon Ramsay stuff. We're going back to our own thing," and then they immediately closed down.
Yeah.
There's one restaurant. I don't know if there's any Kitchen Nightmare fans or watch this. There's one restaurant in the middle of Arizona, run by this psychotic bitch and her husband, who like looks like an Italian mafia gang member.
Christ.
And they literally, okay. So here's the state of the restaurant. Everyone knows that they yell and scream to get out of the restaurant if they don't like their food. Their food is absolutely disgusting. Even Gordon Ramsay says so. The waitresses that work there, they don't get to keep the tips.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
What do they get paid by the hour?
$3 an hour.
What the fuck? You get paid $3 an hour and you can't keep tips?
Nope, the owner takes all the tips.
No one can live off that.
Yeah, they're mostly just like young teenage girls, like 16, 17 years old.
Oh, people getting like their first time job that are still living
Yeah.
with their parents. I guess that's fine, but that's still not an
No.
acceptable wage.
Nope. Like literally, like Gordon Ramsay found that out and literally told the people inside this restaurant, like, "Hey, did you guys know that the waiters get their tips?" And they're like, "Oh, fuck that, we're leaving." And they gave like the girls $20 bills and shit like that.
Dang.
So when Gordon Ramsay like one kitchen night and stayed back there and tried to improve, the woman who owns the restaurant, she was like going on a tirade on the waitresses and telling them to get the fuck out. You're not getting paid next week. And Gordon tries to help them out, but they always blamed everyone else. And it was like the one and only time Gordon Ramsay just walked out on someone trying to help them out and just fucking left them and let them to rot because they were undeserving of his help. Because they were just terrible, despicable people. They actually go in. They actually still reply to this day. If you leave a mean comment on their restaurant, they will try to dox you. They'll try to swat you. These are some really despicable people.
That's fucked, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most of them are just uploading stories. There's one episode when there was like a couple of big guys and they were twins and they own like a pizza restaurant. One of the better successful stories. They actually took Gordon Ramsay's advice and had one of the best pizza restaurants in Minnesota, is where they were at. But they had to close down due to they wanted to go do another dream of theirs, which was Salem. They wanted to be fishermen, so they moved up to Seattle and they became fishermen.
Damn.
It's a really wholesome version. Like if you don't want to see like the memes of fucking Gordon Ramsay yelling at people, calling them donuts or an idiot sandwich or some shit like that. Go to the one where the other show where it's the memes of Gordon Ramsay trying the most disgusting food he's ever seen in his life.
God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like there was it's a really fun time.
I
my
do
boss-
remember that the one that you showed me that night that we were watching them, there was one restaurant where they had like, God, I don't remember. They were like, their restaurant was like fucking in one of those apartment looking buildings that's like stuck in between two big buildings. Like one of those really tiny little ones. They had a restaurant in there.
That was the very first episode aired in England, on the England TV show.
Yeah.
And that was the only time like Gordon Ramsay finished his plate.
Yeah.
because it was so damn good. The only problem is that she just couldn't manage like business hours at
Yeah,
all.
she was bad with like the business side of it, but when it came to like making the food and serving, she was really good.
Right.
Isn't that the whole point of the show too, though? Is if he finds good restaurants like that are struggling, doesn't he give them like money for startups so that they can like become a proper business?
Yeah. Sometimes he just remodels whole kitchens too.
Yeah. That's sick, man. I remember that one was one of the ones that you showed me, and I was like, oh, this is that good shit. Like, it just made me feel good. I was like, let's go, Gordon.
Yeah. He also runs a show where he's a master chef, where he's judging food based off kids who are trying to want to be aspiring chefs.
Yeah. And he's like super nice to the kids.
Yeah. He's a really nice guy, believe it or not. Because I've actually seen one in Hell's Kitchen where
no, I know. I'm sure he's just like famous. The way that he treats like adult chefs and how strict he is. I'm assuming that that's more so just like tough love.
Professionalism.
Yeah, it's like being hard on them because they need to be hard on themselves.
Right.
Kind of thing. And you're kind of like teaching them to be like in charge of themselves when you're that fucking like mean and abrasive. So that's what I always kind of figured it was. I thought he was just like really hard to impress, and then I found out about his soft side, and I was like, oh no, he's just a wicked cool dude. He's just really hard on the adults because I'm sure he probably knows they can do much better than whatever it is they're doing. So
right.
Yeah.
Very cool dude.
No, yeah.
Unlike Teruteru.
Unlike Teruteru.
If anyone is deserving to be called the ultimate cook, it would definitely be Gordon Ramsay.
How do you think Teruteru would fare on Kitchen Nightmares?
Actually, I would think he actually would do really well.
Probably. He is the ultimate
in Hell's
chef.
Kitchen. In Hell's Kitchen, he would just have to be told, just, hey, you, look! You, what would they call him? Oh, Doughboy! Stop making those rude comments! Back to work!
Gordon would give him like a B final grade. He'd be like, B, food's amazing, you're just insufferable as shit. And Teruteru's just like, oh man.
Well, at least I could finally open up that restaurant with my mom.
Christ. I would love to see Gordon Ramsay fucking, fucking judge Teruteru.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
God. Alright, well.
Plot twist, Gordon Ramsay's his dad.
Oh, and that's why he wasn't there. That's why he wasn't in the pictures, because he's off in the States being Gordon Ramsay. That's crazy.
I don't know what that says. Does that make Gordon Ramsay a bad parent, or he just doesn't know?
Maybe he just doesn't know. Do you think Gordon Ramsay's a womanizer?
Hell yeah.
Gordon's probably gonna watch this. He's gonna be like, the fuck? God.
I mean, it's true, but what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, God.
I can stretch real quick. Give me a second.
That's okay. I had to scratch my back. It itchy.
Okay. It's got a bitch of an itch.
Alright. Well, back to Teruteru. How well he was written. I think we talked about this already before we cut to Ego Theater.
Right.
Kind of went from personality to how well he was written. Just to reiterate a bit, not for long, I guess, because we already talked it pretty much, but I think he was handled fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, he wasn't around for long, but he didn't really need to be. So, he didn't overstay his welcome with the stupid pervy jokes. He got enough character development that even though he was gone early, we didn't feel like cheated out of what we could have gotten from him like we kind of did with Imposter.
Right.
He's entertaining while he was there, and before it could, get old, like I said. He didn't overstay his welcome. He was gone pretty quick, so.
Yeah.
He's got a decent motivation.
It's not like a Fume where every single second he breathes, another second wasted on my existence.
Yeah. I am the Lord of Sex.
All of you are beneath me.
All of you are beneath me. my favorite my favorite line in that video is still "Greetings, faggot, to death chat, where I will spend the next 20 minutes telling you about how much I fucked your mom." But not even most of that. It's literally just the "Greetings, faggot, to death chat" is just what kills me. That part is just funny.
My favorite part of that was like, "You fucking fools!
Yeah.
Even though I slipped from this mortal coil, you cannot comprehend."
all the sex lord dialogue in that video is fucking great, man. God,
I had to suffer through that. Just FYI.
That's literally
greatest video
is Teruteru the
customized.
Lord of Sex,
Yeah, pretty much.
bro.
I just used Yufume because it was just more.
Oh yeah, Hifumi made more sense.
Yeah.
Hifumi's funnier. God. Oh, well, geez, this might be a short episode, but then again, maybe not, because there's a ton of fucking trivia to read through in this character for some fucking reason. Jesus Christ. Talking impact, which I guess we also kind of touched on already.
Right.
He doesn't really have any impact past the
It doesn't
first
stick
chapter.
with Hajime. Unlike Makoto, it just doesn't stick. Nothing sticks with Hajime.
Yeah, which I think is one of the weaker parts of this game, because part of what helped with Makoto in the first game was that he made that comment about how everyone that they lose along the way he's going to carry with him forever, and he's still, like, continuously, maybe not constantly, but regularly enough to remind you, references the characters lost throughout the game.
Hajime throughout the most of the game. Guys, enters. Fucking, they're dead.
Hajime's not here. Hajime's not here to fucking remember the fallen. Hajime's here to solve a fucking murder, and that's it.
Hajime's like, let's solve a murder. Chiaki, Hajime, I'm the black. No, you're not my wife. You can't be the black. I refuse to believe it.
Yeah.
This can't be so.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Yeah, he's... I don't think any of these characters are really going to have a ton of impact unless they're, like, super fucking important.
Like Chiaki and Nagito and
Yeah.
Fuyuhiko.
Arguably. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess for the first chapter, he's kind of got impact.
Yeah.
Just not really moving forward
Well,
past
it
that.
doesn't have the impact of Leon being the shock and awe of like what the actual fuck an execution is going to be for these people.
Yeah,
And
Leon
it's
and Sayaka
definitely
both
not
are great
Taeage.
because they were both the, like, their own examples of here's what to expect going forward. Sayaka was like, here's what to expect, both your favorite characters getting killed and the state you might find them in after they get brutally murdered. Leon was, here's what to expect with the people that you're going to come across that have committed the murders, and here's what to expect when you catch them and they get fucking executed.
Right.
And, like...
I mean, comparing anything from V3 is a mortal sin. Because if you compare Teruteru to fucking K80, I mean, come on.
God, we jerked that game's dick so much, but yeah. No, yeah, Teruteru also doesn't really have that kind of... He doesn't have that lasting impact.
Yeah.
Danganronpa 2 is just this awkward middle child where you kind of know what to expect from playing the first game, so you're just kind of like, yeah, alright. You're just kind of going through the beats. I almost feel like this is the game where you're just going through the motions that is Danganronpa.
Like, I completely forget my hero as a character half the time.
Yeah.
Either I remember, yeah, I guess you're here too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I liked her.
Mhm.
I was sad when she was gone, but I mostly just liked her. I liked her personality and her design, mainly. I thought she
Right.
was really cute.
I
But
completely forget that she's a thing.
yeah, well, it's because most of the other characters suffer from the same problem. They are not relevant past the point that they died.
I think I'll be on, like, I think I can name all the relevant characters off in one hand, excluding the main three, obviously. We got Fuyuhiko, then we have Gundam, Nekomaru, and that's about it.
Yeah. Nekomaru is only really relevant because he dies, like, fucking, twice, and he still isn't gone?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the second time he is technically gone, but it doesn't fucking matter because, hey, Soda made Mini Mario, and now he's here to just occasionally pop out and say a funny line. Also completely eradicates any chance of fucking Akane having a shred of character development.
Yeah.
Honestly, they should have just had him die accidentally when he was defending her from Monokuma.
Right.
I love Nekomaru, but they should have just killed him at that point and not bring him back as a robot.
Save the ultimate robot for the third game, guys.
Coming back as a robot is fine, and it gives him a whole nother sprite set, and that's fine. And I didn't mind that, but, like, Minimaru is just too much. He's just... You can't fucking get rid of him. And the only character tied to him in terms of development is Akane, and she doesn't get any development past that point, because she's just... He never fucking dies.
This man built for tough, goddamn.
God. It's a sad day. It's a sad day, man, when I can say that Teruteru had much better character development than most of these characters.
Yeah.
But he benefits from being one of the first ones gone, too, so he doesn't even really need that much. He just needs enough to, like, validate his motive and reasoning behind the murder, and enough to make you feel sorry for him because, you know, he's one of the sympathetic Blackened.
I completely forget Marihiro's character, and I do not feel sorry for Peko.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for Fuyuhiko, but I don't feel sorry for Peko.
all of that, Mahiru and Peku both just kind of go to build towards Fuyuhiko.
Yeah.
Because Mahiru was involved with the death of his sister, and Peko is, you know, basically his waifu forever.
As much as Fuyuhiko wants, that Peko is oblivious to it.
Yeah, because she was raised to not have emotion, basically.
Again, I would still say this: who would win in a fight, Peko versus Maki?
I feel like Maki would win.
Yeah.
Maki's an assassin. She doesn't have to get close. She just needs a gun.
I'm gonna kill you with the power of angst and this gun I found.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like... I'm just thinking about where we're going to be going from here, and, like, most of the characters coming up after Teruteru don't have near as good, like, impact or development.
Mahiru, Peko, then Fuyuhiko.
I can't really say Teruteru has great impact either, though, because he, again, just does not remain relevant past his death. The only character that really needed to was Imposter, and he doesn't. He gets mentioned once in, like, what, fucking Chapter
5.
Yeah, Chapter 5. And you don't
you don't
even find out anything about him. You just find out he's not the real fucking Togami.
Yep.
So... And I get that that's his whole thing, is that you're not supposed to know, like, anything about him because he's mysterious that way, but it's like, I don't know, you gotta do something with him.
Yeah.
Finding out he's not actually Togami is just like, okay, so that wasn't the real Togami. Makes sense.
That's
about all I learned. So.
I mean, I guess you can run fast.
Yeah. I guess. You learned that in Chapter 1, though. You didn't have to wait until Chapter 5 to learn that.
He is speed, and you're like, God damn, dude, what the fuck?
My dude run quick. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's not going to be a whole lot of impact happening on most of these characters.
Built like the Michelin Man, speed of the Michelin tire.
Shut up. My God. Alright, well, let's move on to trivia. Because we're just kind of going in circles in this discussion now.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we're going to have like 15 more minutes to kill because Jesus Christ, Teruteru has so much trivia.
He didn't talk about his accent slip at all whenever he broke in trial.
Oh. Yeah, well, I guess it's not really that important.
Yeah. Well, it's important in a game sense because that's when they this is the game where everyone has, when they get caught, they, like, break down in some sort of fashion, except Chiaki.
Yeah, well, there were quite a few characters like that in the first game too, like Celeste. Like,
Celeste.
again, it's pretty par for the course. This just
Right.
goes back to me what I said with Danganronpa 2 just being you going through the motions of Danganronpa.
Right.
You've got your twist in the first case that's pretty simple. You've got characters breaking down when they get cornered. You've got the fucking Chapter 3 being a double homicide, and it's a bit of a mess and doesn't make a ton of sense, but it's fine, I guess. You've got fucking Chapter 5 being really good, like most of the Chapter 5 seem to fucking be.
Chapter 4 is usually some sort of self-sacrifice.
Final chapter has the big, like, twist that, like, basically changes the way you saw the whole fucking game from that point.
Except in the first game, it's just that Junko was just
Like,
rambling on and on and on.
Trigger Happy Havoc has the benefit of being the first game in the series, so most people are going to play that and be surprised by everything they see until they finally get, like, the hang of what Danganronpa is. V3 is constantly throwing you through loops. It has a great cast that makes you fucking give a shit about them. They stay relevant past the point that they died for one reason or another, even if it's small. And the murders are fucking great, very well set up, except for Chapter 3. Like,
Pizza!
there's almost like no missed opportunities in V3, and they did a lot of great stuff with it, and it's constantly like switching you around and changing the way that you're viewing V3. Like, V3 becomes like a this is the third game, all bets are off kind of fucking thing. Well, like, they break some habits, they change some shit around, they make you question what's coming next. Danganronpa 2 doesn't do any of this. It's just this weird middle child where it's just more of what you would expect Danganronpa to be and what you would expect Danganronpa to do.
And a lot of people said this is their favorite cast. Take the anime out of context and see how much you like this cast afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, if you could still, like, stay and do the free time events afterwards. I know Joey said that the free time events really change up how, like, great some of these characters are.
But we're talking about story-wise.
Yeah, we're just talking the main story here. There's, like,
like
characters are all very base level.
Yeah. Because like I said, the game even says this. You can literally skip all the free time shit and just play the main story.
Yeah.
All of that shit is optional.
Especially the free time events for characters like Imposter and Teruteru that you're never going to be able to do more than, like, what, 2 with?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're gone. So that makes most of their free time events non-canon, in a sense. So, like...
Right. And, like, in the case of Rantaro, fucking hell, is it canon or not canon?
Well, that's the joy of E3. But,
Yeah.
no, I'm just saying that, like, Danganronpa 1 is, like, essential Danganronpa done right. V3 is Danganronpa perfected.
Almost, nearly.
Almost.
Quotations. Citation needed, Chapter 3 needs some work.
Yeah. Danganronpa 2 is just a worse version of Danganronpa 1. Honestly.
It has took away some of the reaction mechanic, has the worst version of Hangman's Gambit, has some cooler minigames.
Yeah. It's got some better minigames. I like Mind Dive.
Yeah.
Mind Dive is fine. Yeah, it's got some highs and lows compared to the first one, but, like, overall, story-wise, from Chapter 1 till Chapter 6, honestly, I'd say Trigger Happy Havoc is better in both story and cast. There's just a lot of, like, missteps here. The characters are all very, like, shallow.
Like I sit there, I say, I like Hajime, I like Nagito, I like Chiaki. But then
There's a
I was
handful
like,
of characters that are legitimately well-written here.
I like Kuyuki. But then you're like, oh yeah, who do I like from the first cast? Oh, I like Makoto, I like
You can
Sayaka,
name, like, so
I like
many of them.
Taka, I like Mondo,
Yeah.
I like fucking Hiro, his dumbass, I like Togami, I like Kyoko, and on the V3, I like everyone but Kyo.
Yeah.
Everyone but Kyo. And Angie, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's hard. I know a lot of people say 2 is their favorite game also, and that's fine. You're allowed to like 2. We're just a couple of idiots on a YouTube channel. Like, our opinion doesn't really matter that much. It shouldn't anyway. If you're getting that upset over us saying that that's not that great, don't let it bother you.
Yeah.
We're just looking at this in our own weird way, and I don't know. From a writing perspective, I don't think 2 is really that good.
No. It relies too much on setup of 1 and the anime for it to get, like, a good payoff.
Yeah. I feel like, because that's also why I enjoy V3. The ending the ending of E3 with all the other characters and cast is, you're probably not really going to understand that if you haven't played the other two, but honestly, it's just kind of in its own world. You can play V3 without playing the first two, and you'd still have a great fucking time. You'd still care about these characters. You'd still be able to solve the murders. You'd still enjoy it, I'm sure.
You'd be lost as fuck in Chapter 6, though.
Yeah,
but...
when it gets to the big reveal in Chapter 6, you'd be pretty lost if you haven't played the first two games, but honestly, that's fine. I don't know. It's just... we're just in this weird middle child. 2 is... I don't know. We'll get through it.
It should have been Empire Strikes Back, but it turned into Attack of the Clones.
Man, I guess. Christ. Alright, well, let's get started on this trivia. Teruteru means radiance, repeated twice in Japanese, while Hanamura means village of flowers. So that's fun. I don't really think either of those fit him that well.
No.
Not with his personality, anyway. With his, like... with the rest of his character, and how, like... what's the word? I guess good he is. Right. Between, like, helping his mom, trying to take care of his family, and just the general idea that he tried to murder Nagito to protect the rest of you. Like, that makes sense to me. It's just the rest of his personality that it doesn't really fit with. He's a good boy, he's just a little too horny. That's his problem. What is that fucking song lyric from that rap? It's like, I love bad bitches, that's my fucking problem. God.
Maki, I mean, not Maki, Teruteru and you meet. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Can't wait for Decadence for that one.
Oh, yeah, buddy. There's probably quite a bit between him and Miyu already in Ultimate Talent Development Plan.
Yeah. If there's not a horn dog contest with fucking Miyu and Teruteru in Decadence on the beach, I'm gonna riot.
Right. God. A typo in the opening movie for the PSP version of the Japanese game writes his surname as Hanamaru. The Vita version corrects this. Hanamaru means circle of flowers. Interesting.
Fair enough.
Despite Teruteru stating that he was born in Azabu and raised in southern Aoyama, I'm so bad with these, both of which are notably upscale areas in Tokyo, when he is agitated, he speaks with a heavy accent that is not part of Tokyo's standard Japanese dialect. Hiyoko notices this and happily announces that he's a liar for it. In the English localization, Teruteru speaks with a heavy country accent when agitated. His accent is reminiscent of the distinctive Cajun accent of Louisiana. Yeah.
I don't know anything about that!
Yeah, I love how you can't even fucking understand him. God.
Thank God for subtitles.
Teruteru is very openly interested in both men and women, which has been shown in multiple scenes. In Chapter 1 of Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair, during the swimming party on the beach, Teruteru asks if anyone would like a rub-down with suntan lotion. Nekomaru volunteers, and Teruteru replies, "Rubbing lotion on a muscular man? Alright, no problem. My tastes are pretty open, you know." God.
The hornet!
If Hajime initiates a free time event with Teruteru, one of the possible introductions is, "Your body just can't live without me? You're such a naughty boy." I hate that. I hate it. Another possible introduction is, "That's fine with me. How about we start by getting to know each other? If you'd like, we can get to know each other with our bodies. Why don't you come to my cottage?"
I feel unclean.
I feel like I shouldn't be reading this onto the podcast. I need to
This is definitely breaking some YouTube terms.
I need to go into post and put redacted or censored over everything that I'm fucking reading right now.
Yeah. Just the censor beat.
If Hajime gives Teruteru a present he enjoys, one of his possible responses is, "Thank you, Hajime. I'll return the favor with my body." Oh yeah, this is the bit I was talking about here. In Danganronpa 3 Despair, episode 1, Teruteru is tied up and hung from the ceiling by Chiza, and says, "Getting tied up by a lady in an apron?" But she's quickly replaced by Nekomaru shouting at him, and Teruteru continues, "It's a man now? Oh, I can work with this." God. In the booklet included in the special edition Japanese Blu-ray release of Danganronpa 3, The End of Hope's Peak High, Teruteru is described as, quote, "a chef whose passion for sex matches or perhaps even exceeds his passion for food. He seems to be okay with anyone ranging from small girls to older ladies, though it seems like he is also down for men as well." God. I love how...
We should have made Noah.
I love how we have... What is that? 5 bullet points? We have 5 sub-points under Teruteru being openly interested in men and women, just to, like, verify that he's bisexual.
This man is horny.
God. Additionally, although it is not considered canon, in Island Mode, Teruteru flirts with Hajime many times. And now there are 6 more sub-points on just this point.
Oh my god.
Teruteru and Nekomaru are the only 2 male characters who acknowledge the trips with Hajime as dates, other than Soda, who jokingly calls them man dates. Fucking Soda. God damn it.
I'm more surprised about Nekomaru.
You know what if Hajime suggests exploring on a military park date, Teruteru responds, "Really? Sigh, I have no choice. I can't compete with your curiosity. But in exchange, you need to hold my hand, okay?"
Oh, God. This is why I only do Island Mode with Shiaki, and possibly Nagito.
If Hajime suggests going to the haunted house on an amusement park date, Teruteru responds, "It's not like I'm scared or anything, but if anything happens, all I have to do is leap into Hajime's strong arms. If I think about it like that, I guess I can do it. Okay, let's go inside." Oh, God. If Hajime says, "This looks like fun," on an amusement park date, Teruteru responds, "When you come to a place like this, all you gotta do is not think about anything and enjoy it to the fullest. So why don't you free yourself from the constraints of daily life and show me your birthday suit?" Jesus Christ. If Hajime suggests eating popcorn on a movie theater date, Teruteru responds, "Of course, is there even a point to eating popcorn outside of a movie theater? Especially in the dark, when 2 people reach into the popcorn bag and their hands brush against each other. That's why popcorn is so important. It's what causes situations like that. Now then, why don't we both go sit in the dark together and do some feeling around for ourselves?" Oh, God.
I have completely reevaluated Mew right now. It could have been so much worse.
What if Miyu was exactly the same personality-wise and exactly the same talent-wise, but she was fat?
No.
God.
Actually, no, you know what? She'd still be funny. Because then we could go, haha, you're fat.
God.
The cow udder's insult would make more sense.
Yeah, true. And the last sub-point on the Island Mode. If Hajime suggests taking their clothes off on a beach date, Teruteru responds, "Wow, Hajime, how bold of you. Fine then, show me everything you've got, just like the day you were born, and then come leap into my arms."
Mew could have been so much worse. Oh my god, I just realized that. I feel so bad for ever doubting Mew. God damn it.
Teruteru's execution mimics that of Leon from Trigger Happy Havoc. Both him and Leon were dragged off from the trial by a chain around the neck, then strapped onto a pole in a symbolic fashion.
Yeah, I think it was like everyone in the Verse Murders gets dragged off from the trial.
I think every first Blackened execution starts off with them getting dragged away by the chain.
Yeah.
So, after Chapter 1, the X on Teruteru's sign is shaped like the food court symbol of a fork and knife crossing each other, in reference to his ultimate title.
I do like that.
Yeah.
That's when they start doing...
That's when they started doing
personalized
fucking death portraits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish they would do that with everyone, but there's still a couple characters, especially in V3, that don't have unique death portraits, and I'm like, bro, why not? You know? Like,
Rentaro
V3
and
definitely
Kite.
has the most unique portraits, but there's still, like, a couple that definitely could have been unique that aren't. Like, I think Shuichi's is just an X, and it's like, bro, make those magnifying glasses. Come on.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, Kokichi is a check mark, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, but that's because that's because the debate between him and Kaito of like who is it, and then you know there is that point that it was Kokichi, so he gets the check mark, but Kaito just gets a regular X. That's like, come on, man, you know.
I like Mew's triple X one. Though.
Yeah, Mew's got the triple X. Kiyo's got the fucking steam instead of an X.
Angie gets a little halo and wings.
Yeah, I actually really like that one. I think hers is my favorite. And you never see it, but Maki's is
big block X.
Yeah, he gets because it's supposed to mimic an X on like a tennis scoreboard.
Right.
Maki's is a fucking scope reticle.
Yep.
But you don't get to see that one because obviously, I don't
Right.
know. There's a lot of good ones. We should. Rather like an Ego Theater or an off-topic, we should spend a time going over like all the unique death portraits.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be fun.
Fair enough.
Teruteru screams Avril Lavigne when quartered in the class trial. Avril Lavigne is a Canadian singer, songwriter, and actress. Knew that. 3 sub-points on this one. I guess he's constantly referencing pop stars. During his panic talk, one of his remarks is Paris Hilton, referring to Paris Hilton. In Danganronpa 3 Despair Arc, he makes a reference to Taylor Swift. And in Danganronpa 3 Hope, he screams Justin Bieber as Akane runs past him. That's funny. I actually didn't know that. I don't remember.
No, I just picture Alex Jones just yelling Justin Bieber at the top of his lungs now.
Yeah, that's funny.
Justin Bieber!
Teruteru is referenced in Danganronpa Another Episode by a restaurant named Pig Boy. The logo shows a pig dressed almost identically to Teruteru, even sporting the same hair. The restaurant itself could be a reference to Teruteru's execution, which is called Tonkatsu no Hanamura in the original Japanese release, since tonkatsu is fried pork cutlets. Very cool. I actually knew this next one. Teruteru shares his English voice actor, Todd Haberkorn, with Korekiyo Shinguji in Danganronpa V3.
Yeah, you can definitely hear it in their voice.
Yeah.
They also voiced Death the Kid from Soul Eater.
Yep. Todd does a lot of good voice work.
Mhm.
Teruteru's Japanese voice actor, Jun Fukuyama, also voiced Kurosaki in Danganronpa 3 Despair Arc. Very cool. I don't remember who that is. Probably one of the... Oh, this guy. Okay. I remember this guy. He was in the Future Arc. He was part of the Final Killing game. I don't remember what his deal was. I just remember he was there. Alright, well, that was all of Teruteru's trivia. That was a fucking lot of it, because most of it had to, like, sub-point a lot of his stuff. For some
How
reason.
horny he is.
Horny. God.
Bonk, go to horny jail.
Alright, Jer.
Mew will be your warden.
And instead of a nightstick, she's got that fucking giant purple dildo that she has on her unused sprites.
Yeah.
God. Alright, Jer. What are your final thoughts on Teruteru Hanamura?
I give him a 5.
5?
5.
Well, that's the rating. I'm talking your final thoughts.
My final thoughts?
On the character himself.
I give him a 5.
Give him a 5.
5 seconds to leave my fucking sight before I slap him across the face.
My final thoughts? Pretty much just everything we talked about. He's one of the better handled characters in the game just because he doesn't overstay his welcome. This man is horny.
This man is horny.
This man needs his dick sucked.
Man, woman, we don't care. Just make him shut up.
Yeah, I think I'll agree on the rating. 5 out of 10. He could have been better, I think, but
I changed mine to a -5.
I already wrote it down.
You can put a dash on there. Fuck
I
off.
could, but I'm not gonna.
All
right,
I will remember
fine,
this.
I will.
Jared will remember
I'll
that.
put the fucking dash on there, you baby. No, I think 5 out of 10 is fair. He, like I said, he's fine. He's handled pretty well for what he is, and how long he stayed. I think if he stayed an extra chapter, and didn't get any more development, I definitely don't think he would be as good. But since he's gone pretty early, we got all the development on him that we really needed. So.
Literally, Teruteru dude dies. Me in my head. Since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time.
God.
I don't like his archetype at all.
Yeah. I don't mind it. He gave me enough. He gave me enough chuckles that I was like, all right, I'll give him a pass. He's funny. And then he died, so I was like, all right, good. I don't have to give him more passes. He made me laugh. Mission accomplished. He's out.
He's just not Hifume.
Yeah. No, Hifume never. I don't think Hifume ever made me laugh, except for the one time he called Taka a virgin.
A virgin.
Called Taka a virgin. He called Taka a virgin. He's like, get that virgin away from me before he gets me infected with his virginness.
Virgin.
And I just laughed because Hifume of all fucking people had to say that. Like, that's just funny. But I think this is the only time he made me laugh. Teruteru got a couple good laughs out of me. So
we have Miyu over here.
Miyu's just
absolute
funny.
queen.
I fucking hated Miyu for like the first 2 chapters, and I don't know what happened. In, like chapter 3, it just like flipped a switch, and I was just like, I fucking love this girl, dude. She's funny.
It's because she gets vibe checked by Kokichi in chapter 2.
Well, it's not just that. It's just I don't know. I don't remember what it was. I think it was just like one line she had that just turned me around on her completely, and I was like, all right, that's pretty funny. And then she just consistently made me laugh after that. I was like, all right, I'm enjoying her.
Was it because Miyu molested the robot?
You know, maybe that was the turning point. Oh, God.
And in the context of B3, oh boy. We will continue after this commercial break. Sorry to interrupt the streaming service, but we will continue with this later.
God. Fuck, man. Well, that was Teruteru. We're done. Why are you all still here?
It's over. What are you still doing here? Shut it off!
God. Good night, everybody.